Hi, dear friends. Good morning. Welcome back to Akshayadari. I am Devraj. Today is 1st September. So, we are in the first day of September month 2023. I hope you guys are improving your communication and also you guys following the tips which I have given in the previous videos. And before going to start today's session, I would request you guys to please subscribe the channel, like and comment. If you like the video, please share it with your friends so that I can bring very informative videos in the upcoming days. So let's start today newspaper reading. Yes, guys, let's start reading the newspaper. Let's see what's in today newspaper. From farming to well-being, Indian app startups are innovating for every need. Parliament convened from September 18th to 22. August rain, the lowest in a century. IMD. 5 more killed in Manipur gunfight. Are natural disasters man-made? People play a big role in enhancing risk exports. Gulkesh takes the number one spot from Anand. Bescom bills to increase by 1.154 unit in September. Congress seeks JPC probe into Adani row. OCCRP alleges round tripping of millions of dollars via Mauritius-based funds managed by Adani partners. India's reputation at stake, says Rahul. Extent of drought may be declared on September 4. Economy grows 7.8%, fastest in 4 quarters. Statehood for J&K may take time. Force can be held. Government. Work on railway line to be resumed after getting node. KIAT to Tamil 2 to start international operations on September 12. Hane Venkatesh dies in elephant attack near Alur. Deficient rain in August worsens water crisis in outer zones of the city. Several apartment complexes and apartment groups in Bangalore have initiated a campaign to get residents to save water. Sudden rain lash city. Low lying areas flooded. First flight lands at a new Shimoga airport. City's Southern Division Police launched Cyber Victims Day to raise awareness. Christ Varsity sets up a cyber forensic lab. We need to educate people on safety methods on net banking and other business transaction apps and urge them to strictly follow instructions given by the banks, financial institutions, and cyber police. Survey finds 48 bird species in Dorekere Lake at Uttarli. Contractor murdered. KA approves changes made to sports quota rules for admission to professional courses. Sports department submits a report on revised quota, according to which only students who have officially represented the state or country will be considered. Bangalore University not shift PG Center from Ramanagara to Jnana Bharati campus. Online fraudster cheats BBMP employee of 1.8 lakh. Auto driver arrested for threatening couple. Company owner joins rival firm as employee, diverts projects worth 77 lakh. BBMP to set up a metropolitan surveillance unit to identify potential disease outbreaks. The unit that will be fully funded by the center will help the civic body in putting in place in a structured surveillance system. Historic day, heralding a new era in Assam's medical education sector. REID Development Corporation promised. State likely to declare the extent of drought on September 4. Cabinet subcommittee expected to recommend a drought hit areas. Agriculture Minister says up to 150 taluks are experiencing dry spell. Extent of crop damage to be known in 10 days. Will resume work on Ubli and coal line only after getting all clearances. Railways. Kumaraswamy accepted to ward from Hasi. Don't spoil your future by giving power to anti-constitutionalists, says Siddaramaiah. Chief Minister alleged that the BJP was reversing Devraj Arsu's land to the tiller lot by following the policy of land to the rich. Obama Dalai to visit Mandya in December. Three nominated members take oath as MLCs. A slice of Japanese culture in Bangalore. The show featured two primary styles of kimonos for men and five major styles for women. Equally intriguing were the delicate floral accessories the women wore in their hair. Series on Mrinal Sen films to mark his birth centenary. Play review. Day Zero talks about climate change through science fiction. Karnataka in focus, nuggets of history. Bhatpadi, once a thing of beauty, Sasi Hitulu. Sasi Itlu was his parts for sports, natural as well as man-made. Groyans save Maravante Beach. Olive Ridley turtle nesting sites. Monsoon brings waves of dread to those living by the sea. Increased sea erosion along with the 320-kilometer Karnataka coast has resulted in a disappearance of a massive extent of land and destroyed many properties. Boulders not useful. Karnataka invites CWMA to visit its reservoirs in Kaveri Basin. The authority noted that the distress condition in the basin had increased in the past 15 days and live storage in the reservoirs had depleted. Farmers' protest against the release of Kaveri water continues. Some Dravidian parties are trying to divide people of the country. Piyush. The right to stay connected to the forest. Last month, 114 tribal people in Karnataka got the title deeds for the land they had been cultivating for about a century. It came after a 6-decade-long strategy struggle. KV Aditya Bhardwaj looks at why it took so long for this to happen, and what the villagers who live on the edge of the Banegata National Park are still seeking. P.T. Imam Das, who has been acknowledged by WN via New York Radio as one of the top emerging artists, talks about the Omkar Music Festival, cutting across musical genres. A progressive UCC must protect the child's best interests. Let's read this editorial page written by the former Chief Justice of India. No. Faizana Mustafa. At a time when the government may bring in a uniform civil code by holding a special session of parliament on September 18 to 22, 2023. There is a need to think behind polygamy and divorce and other such issues. A UCC cannot confine itself to merely changing the rule of the father being the natural guardian. It must go beyond this and provide for, in unequivocal terms, the best interest of child principle in all custody disputes. It must deny absolute rights of biological parents versus adoptive parents. The Guardians and Wards Act 1990 considers the welfare of the child as the prime consideration in the determination of custody. Section 6 of the Hindu Minority and Guardianship Act of 1956 declares the father as the natural guardian and after him the mother. The mother would ordinarily have custody till the child attains 5 years of age. The person would lose custody if she or he ceases to be Hindu. In Geeta Hariharan 1999, the Supreme Court of India held that the expression after him does not necessarily mean after lifetime of the father, but instead in the absence of child custody and the biological link. Interestingly, custody under Islamic law is the right of the child and not of the parents. In fact, the father is at number 6 in terms of the right to custody after the mother. Mother's mother आपसे वो high. Paternal grandmother, sister, maternal aunt, and paternal aunt. Under the Hanafi school, the mother does not lose custody after she ceases to be a Muslim. Islamic law gave custody to the mother till a boy attains 7 years and a daughter till she is 17. Under the Hanafi school, the Shafi'i and the Hanbali schools gave custody to the mother till a daughter is married. Under the Maliki school, the mother gets custody after of even a male child till puberty and even female child till a marriage. Thereafter, the child gets the right to make a choice. Let us consider the issues that are far more complex than custody claims between father and mother, that is, the claims of biological parents after adoption, and of an accused of rape biological father. Indian courts are attaching a greater importance now to the claims of biological parents in preference to adoptive parents without due consideration to the best interest of the child. Only on July 26, 2023, two women judges of the Bombay High Court ordered that the custody of a child who had already been adopted to be given to the biological father. He is accused of rape, which resulted in this child being born. In October 2021, the 17-year-old biological mother, on realizing that she was pregnant, is alleged to have eloped with him and gave birth to a boy on November 26, 2021. Based on a complaint by the mother's father, alleging rape and various crimes under the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act, POCSO Act 2012. The biological father was arrested but was granted bail later. The mother and child were sent to a home in Mumbai. In 2022, the biological mother got married to another person and, in the larger interest of the child, surrendered the boy to the Child Welfare Committee for adoption. The child, under Section 38(3) of the Juvenile Justice Act, being an unwanted child of a victim of sexual assault, was declared free for adoption by the CWS. He was handed over to his adoptive parents on January 3, 2023. Surprisingly, on the biological father's habeas corpus petition, the High Court stayed the adoption proceedings, and despite the trauma to the child and adoptive parents, the child was returned to the shelter home. In July, the CWC rejected the biological father's application for custody on the ground that a biological father cannot take advantage of his own crime, and given custody to him would not be in the best interest of the child. On July 26, the High Court handed over custody of the child to the biological father without hearing the biological mother. The alleged love story is the version of the father and not of the mother, who, under Section 764, had said that she was coerced to go with him and that the sexual relationship was not consensual. Unfortunately, neither the best interest of the child nor the biological mother's emotions were taken into account. The mother was opposed to giving the child to the biological father. The requirement of consent of the rapist father in such adoptions would set the wrong precedent. A case of adoption. Similarly, the Nasrin Begum, a two-judge bench of Allahabad High Court, gave the custody of a girl child to her biological parents in preference to the rights of the adoptive parents, who, under a notarized deed, had adopted a 3-month-old child. The family court, on the basis of the testimony of the child, now 6 years old, and in the best interest of the child, had decided in favor of the adoptive parents. The biological parents asserted that mere custody for some time was given to the adoptive parents. Does not Section 2 of the CJJ Act provide that adoption completely severs the ties between the biological parents and the child? Why would any parent leave a 3-month-old child in another country without the child being given an adoption? The family court rightly concluded that children cannot be treated as the chattel and property of their biological parents, and she should not undergo the trauma of separation from her adoptive parents who had given her all the love and care over 6 years and or so. The High Court overlooked the fact that the biological parents had spent the summer vacations every year from 2014 to 2018 with the child, and the allegation of a denial of visitation by them was not made out from the facts. In fact, the adoption deed did not contain any visitation rights by the biological parents. The trauma which a child and its adoptive parents would undergo was not given much consideration, though the court did acknowledge that the child would undergo some difficulty in the beginning due to separation from the adoptive parents. The court gave much importance to the right of the child to know her real identity and the right of her biological parents to her custody. The court moved on the premise that there was no legal adoption and therefore the adoptive parents having no right in respect of the child. But the Bombay High Court in Iftikhar 2021 ignored that the fact of adoption was not valid in terms of Muslim law. The court, in the interest of the child, had refused to give custody to the biological parents as the adoptive parents were given a 5-day-old child. It was only because of their their care that the child recovered from jaundice. A progressive UCC should not overemphasize biological ties. It must protect the rights of adoptive parents. Otherwise, people would not adopt children. Similarly, it should not insist on the matrimonial bond between parents and should ideally make provision of guardianship even for a single parent, surrogate parent, and co-parents. Let's go to the next page. Dalit targeted violence, a dimming of Tamil Nadu halo. Let's read this editorial page. What's highlighted? Dalit targeted violence, a dimming up Tamil Nadu's halo. In an incident in Tamil Nadu earlier this month, a Dalit school student, Chinna Durai, was attacked by 3 students wielding a machete. His sister was also attacked when she tried to intervene. Dalits continue to face violence in some form or the other across India every. However, the incident which took place on August 9 in Nanguneri in Tirunelveli district shocked the state as the perpetrators were school students who belonged to the numerically dominant community in that region. Earlier, too, there have been similar incidents in the state where Dalit students have been attacked. Muruganandam and Pradeep from Chiranma Devi on August 4th, Hariprasad of Kajagumalai on August 14th, and a case on a bus near Karur on August 28th. The perpetrators were either students or youth aged between 16 and 25 years. It is common knowledge that many students, particularly in rural Tamil Nadu, wear specific color bands on their wrist as a mark of caste identification. In a state that has a history of caste violence against Dalits since independence, the latest incidence is cause for worry. These incidents must not be seen in isolation. There are many factors such as mushrooming of caste organization that run high on caste pride, a near total absence of anti-caste activism within the powerful other backward classes by social and political organizations, and even the people response from non-Dalit intellectuals. Caste pride. Today, the primary role of the caste organizations, most often patronized by youngsters, is to create exaggerated caste-specific symbolisms. These organizations typically portray Dalits and their development as a threat to their interest of their community. By organizing group pujas, every caste has found a social icon around which to rally. It is not far fetched to imagine that the youngsters behind the violent incidents mentioned above were influenced by this. In the past 3 decades, every government and other political parties have not only allowed but also fully participated in the celebration of these caste icons. After the arson and violence against Dalits in Dharmapuri in 2012, orchestrated to separate an intercaste couple, several caste organizations began to openly oppose intercaste marriages. For instance, the Patali Makal Kachi, which represents the Vainya community in Tamil Nadu's northern and western districts, rallied non-Dalit organizations against the Dalit community in 2014. Though it petered out, it was a development that reflects the changes within Tamil society. In 2015, Dhiran Chinnamalai Peravai leader Yuraj and his accomplices killed a Dalit student. Gokul Raj was speaking to a caste Hindu girl. In 2016, a Dalit youth Shankar was killed in Udumalai Pettai for marrying an OBC girl. Former Tamil Nadu Deputy Chief Minister O. Pannirselvam even denied instances of caste-based honor killings in Tamil Nadu on the floor of the assembly in 2015 when there was a demand for a special law against it. This reality, much like the rest of India, is in stark contrast to the halo that exists around Tamil Nadu outside the state. The political factor, the Dravidian parties, the Dravidian Munitra Kajagam and the All India Anna Davida Munitra Kajagam and all national parties have a presence in the state. While it is true that these parties, except the Bharatiya Janata Party, do not directly support these caste organizations, the ruling parties seldom speak against them or take action when there are transgressions are committed by these organizations. This is because these political parties are dependent on the vote bank of the numerically dominant OBC communities. There is political competition to appease them. The political parties, which see no contradiction with these caste organizations are quick to form an electoral alliance with them if they manage to mobilize their communities. After opposing the hegemony of Brahmins and pursuing the politics of anti-Brahminism, the Dravidian movement did not do much to oppose the dominance of powerful OBC communities or speak about these issues vociferously. It is only Dalit and left organizations and individuals that are spotlighting the extent of the violence that Dalits face. Violence against Dalits by powerful OBC communities is not a new phenomenon either. Pandit Jyoti Das Tamijuan newspaper reported many such incidents in the early 20th century. Why are Dalits facing violence in a state ruled by political parties that boast of promoting social justice? Why did not anti-Brahmin politics transform itself into anti-caste politics? What is the connection between social changes that have taken place so far and the situation now in Tamil Nadu? There has been no debate or political narratives to explain this emergent phenomenon. Another worrying development is the rise of the BJP in Tamil Nadu. BJP-led Hindutva politics is an as in other places pampers the caste pride of powerful Brahmin and non-Brahmin caste organizations. There is open support for caste-based outputs and encouragement to castes to reclaim their past based on myths. Such myths only reinforce caste consciousness in the minds of upper caste students. BJP State Unit's President K. Annamalai on a yatra across Tamil Nadu did not speak about the violence while he went to Nangu Neri. Public intellectuals rarely speak about these problems in Tamil Nadu today. If Dalits lack the violence and discrimination, Brahmins are portrayed to be the common enemy, and the voices of Dalits are disregarded and suppressed. In Tamil Nadu, Dalits have historically been at the forefront and continue to be ideological opponents of Brahminism. It is true that Brahminical hegemony exists and should be opposed. However, does that mean that the issues faced by Dalits should not be discussed and debated in a transparent manner? Ushering in reform. Rather than suppress the Dalit critic, social and political organizations must acknowledge that there is urgent need to address the issue of violence against Dalits in the state. They must discourage the formation of caste based organizations and delegitimize existing caste organizations. Governments must stop participating in Guru Pujas and establishing memorials for caste leaders. Importantly, the idea of equality should be propagated earnestly in schools, colleges, and workplaces. In schools and colleges, monitoring committees that involve teachers and parents must be set up to handle discrimination. The police must be held accountable where there is lax investigation and in bringing the perpetrators of violence against Dalits to justice. The Dravidian movement stands for social justice. The criticism of Dalit activists, political parties, and intellectuals is not to negate the achievements of the movement on the social justice front in the last 100 years, but only to point out the chasm between its lofty ideals and the situation on ground in an effort to correct its course in the pursuit of inclusive social justice. Let's go to the next page. It's about the caste is mapping ties. China must show its neighbors the sensitivity that it demands of them. Neighbors, rivals, the Asia Cup remains hostage to India-Pakistan relations. Our natural disasters, man-made, the frequency and the intensity of hazards have increased, and anthropogenic climate change has played a major role in that. The pull of words. While literary festivals are often the closest connect between the reader and writer, Congress seeks a JPC probe into Adani Row. Chinese President Xi yet to confirm presence at the G20 summit in Delhi. If he does not attend China's Chinese Premier Li Xiang is likely to replace him at this summit. US President Joseph Biden and the leaders of the UK, France, Germany, Canada, Japan, Brazil, Indonesia have already confirmed their presence for the meet. Case lapped on right-wing output for our raging majas. Economy grows 7.8% fastest in four quarters. SC issues notice about fake website phishing attack. The SC registry flags its concern to law enforcement agencies, asking them to investigate the attack. 5 more killed in Manipur. Police say situation tense but under control. J&K police start drive to trace 734 absconders for their involvement in militancy. The police say that out of the 369 absconders, 215 are from Jammu and 154 in Kashmir. E-buses will be allotted to cities based on population. Cadre Abhilash Tomi to assist ISRO with astronaut recovery. Special session of Parliament from September 18th to 22nd. Agenda under wraps. The session will have the 5 sittings. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi says Hamid Amrit Kaul, the government is looking forward to fruitful discussions and a debate in Parliament. Congress says the government is trying to divert attention from the recent media reports on Adani Group. Akhilesh meets family of bus conductor in Namaz episode. Bihar BJP leaders mock Nitish Kumar's solution by being PM. New Press Registration of Books Act notified. India Point is likely to have common social media team. The idea is to reach a bigger audience, spanning the current social media outreach of all the India constituents. Our India had food for thought on seat sharing early elections. Assam to relaunch a drive against child marriage. India sees the lowest August rainfall in a century. IMD Met Department indicated in July that the August rainfall would be below normal. The rainfall in September is likely to be within a 10% window of the 16.7% CM that is normal for the month. Amarnath Yatra concludes over 4.4 lakh pilgrims for prayers. Jay Verma becomes the first man to head the railway board. SC to examine the protocol on the sale of green crackers. Assam-based oncologist Ravi Khannan wins 2023 Raman Magsaysay Award. West continues to exploit resources in developing countries. Russian diplomat Chandrayaan probe finds spots plasma on moon. Significance of the fives. Former Thailand PM Thaksin has applied for royal pardon. Finished Minister Israeli soldier Palestinian driver killed as truck rams a checkpoint. Local elections underway in Russia occupied areas of Ukraine. General Wu toppled Bongo to be sworn in as president of Gabon. Over 70 killed in fire at illegal housing block in South Africa. At least 7 children among the victims, 52 injured in the building situated in a crime-ridden area that was turned into illegal housing after being abandoned. Most of the residents were foreigners. After India, Philippines, Malaysia, and Indonesia protest China's map. Pakistan's election commission to hold general elections by February. Trump pleads not guilty in Pole's abortion case. Grant Shapps replaces Ben Wallace as the defense secretary of the UK. Adani shares fall on allegations investors had ties to promoters. Hundreds of millions of dollars were invested in Adani stock via OPEC marches based in investment funds, the OCCRP alleges in a new report. Isuzu Motors unveils crew cab pickup in a CV segment. PTT raises fair value of Mishu investment by 14%. TVS Sri Chakra showcases Agri radial tires in the US. Royal Enfield will roll out first e-bike by 2025. Siddhartha will review cotton import levy after talks with Farm Ministry. ONDC, a pivotal force set her to enhance digital commerce. Viacom 18 wins BCCI telecast rights for India's home series. Malan and Brooke guide England to victory and a 1-0 lead against New Zealand. A great honor to meet PM Modi, says Pragnananda. Hamilton and Russell extend contracts to Mercedes. Pathirana proves too hot before the batters take Lanka home. The host, well served by Samara Vikrama and Asalanka's half centuries, romp home with 5 wickets and 11 overs to spare despite a shaky start while chasing Bangladesh's 164, Shantos 89, the silver lining in the visitors' innings. Kishan to replace Rahul for Asia Cup preliminary stage. Newcastle, PSG, Inter Milan, and Dortmund in the same group. Getting first wishes current rating is special. Jung since rude packing makes history Wajiniaki Mocha Machasan, creating infrastructure and scientific coaching our motto. Telangana Sports Minister Srinivas Gaud, who delivered the inaugural address of the event with focus on Telangana, underlines the government's commitment to expanding the reach of all sports in the state. The vision is to make the state a premier sports destination. Srinivas Gaud. In Pranay, I see a person who is in pain, still fighting with all his might. Narang and Kashyap throw light on the highs and lows of their careers. More matches needed, not as Mithali. Legends of past, tasks of future. Asian Games hockey, Akshadeep, Akashdeep, Jugraj, and Selvam Karthi missed the bus to Hangzhou. The squads were announced at a send-off ceremony hosted by H1 on Thursday. Harmanpreet to helm men's team, while Savita will lead women's side. Mohan Bagan pips FC Goa in the Durand Cup semi-final. The only aim is to win gold at the Asian Games, says Harmanpreet. Aishika and Bongani star in Bangalore SC's win. Depending champ YOC knocked out. Divya and Vantika excel to take the lead. It's Prana versus Galahad in future event. Mysuru monsoon season from today. Exciting subplots keep the narrative alive for the rest of the season. Fighting proof for the axiom that nutrition aids recovery. Conventional medicine treats by drug or surgery, but the doctor always mentions an appropriate diet. Though the importance of nutrition is understood generally, studies are validating the cruciality of nutrition in the recovery process of the body have to be conducted from time to time. Infrastructure shortfalls, low budgets worsen mental health issues in India. And suboptimal diet is also an important risk factor for non communicable diseases, an epidemic of which seems to be holding India in its grip. In 2010, global economic losses of 2.5 trillion annually were attributed to poor mental health, stemming from a diminished well being and productivity. This will surge to 6 trillion by 2030. Exploring superboots and behind. Text and context. This is the last page, guys. Oh, I hope the bid amount for broadcasting India's home series 6,000 crore. Increase in economic growth in India in April-June quarter. The increase in tea production in India in the month of July. Number of firms that have applied for the IT hardware PLI scheme. Increase in production of key infrastructure sectors in July. Decoding the OCCRP's Adani report. What were the terms of reference given by the Supreme Court in the Adani Hindenburg investigation? What is Rule 19A of the Securities Contracts Regulation? Rules 1957. What did the OCCRP investigation find? What are its implications? There is now prime facie evidence that the entities like EIFF, EMRF, and GOFO are fronts through which Vinod Adani has invested massive funds into Adani Group companies' stocks. SEBI and the DRI probe. For Malayalam film industry, no dearth of committees, but concrete action missing. No your English. It remains to be seen whether the latest committee will come up with anything concrete and whether it will take into consideration the changing contours of the industry with the evolution of technology and the various issues highlighted by the HEMA committee report. Let's read this page. World Organs Donation Day is observed every year on August 13. In this page, we scratch the mere surface of the vast field of organ transplantation. 20 what complete action missing. Finding proof for the axiom that nutrition aids recovery. It's a little bit important. The mental health crisis requires a huge infusion of cash to manage. Exploring superfoods and behind. Visual question: identify the aromatic herb shown below, which finds a place in Italian dishes and in the Whisper network. Is believed to possess a cognitive function and memory enhancing magic. I hope you guys have enjoyed the newspaper reading and at least read the newspaper for 2 hours to make you better in communication. So I'll be back with very informative videos in the future. So please subscribe the channel, like and comment, and see you in the upcoming videos. Have a great day. Bye bye. Take care.